Hello, this is my course for developing your complete e-commerce website using AI. In this course, you will learn how to create a website from scratch using AI and no prior experience in development in PHP, in HTML, or in CSS, as well as JavaScript. So let's get started. I'm gonna open VS Code. If you are on Linux, you can simply open it as I did by pressing Alt F2 and then entering code, which will open VS Code. If you are on Windows, you can similarly open it from the Run window and enter code to open it. Note that for this course, we will use Docker Compose in order to run our project. Docker Compose allows us to simply run the services that we want. For example, to run a web server, to run a database server, and set them up without having to install any of these services on our development machine. So the good thing about this is that Docker Compose works on all platforms. You can run it on Windows, Linux, and on Mac. So as you can see, I'm using Linux, but it will work on other platforms as well. Also, in order for your Docker Compose to work, you will need to install a Docker engine, a container engine. And I recommend installing Podman for that. Fortunately, Podman is by default installed on my Linux machine, which is Fedora, but you can install it on other Linux distros if you are using one. If you are using Windows or Mac, you can also install Podman Desktop, and then Podman will be available for you. Because I know many of you will use Windows as a development machine, as you follow along this course, I will show you how to install Podman Desktop and set it up on Windows in this video. So let's head over to our browser. I open Chrome and search for Podman Desktop. Podman Desktop IO is the official website for this software. So I open it. Then let's go to the downloads page, and here download the version for Windows. Good, it is downloading the file. Note that if you are a fan of package managers and the terminal, you could also install Podman Desktop using this command, winget install. But because we have started downloading, we will wait for the download to complete and install it using the downloaded file. Once the Podman Desktop installer is downloaded, I open it. And then we choose to install it for everyone because it's better. If you change the users, other users and other user accounts will be able to use Podman Desktop as well. So install it with administrative rights and wait for the installer to finish installing the software. Let's keep the check and finish. This will run Podman Desktop after closing the window. Now we allow Podman Desktop to access networks. On the welcome page for Podman Desktop, I select Start Onboarding. There's an initial process that we need to go through. We couldn't find Podman, let's install it. The Podman as well as a virtual machine will be installed on our system. Next. As you can see, virtual machine platform should be enabled. It says that I don't have virtual machine platform enabled. So I need to enable it. We can open this guide to see how to enable virtual machine platform on Windows. Okay, this is the command that we need to run on PowerShell. So let's open our terminal. This terminal is a nice application for Windows, and it can run PowerShell commands. Make sure to run it as administrator. Okay, now I paste the command and let's press enter. Okay, the feature is enabled. Back to Podman Desktop. We need to close and reopen Podman Desktop. Quit. And I open it again. Okay, there's a link here for Podman to set up. I press it and then press next. WSL version should be above 1.2.5. Okay, our version of WSL is very low. We need to update it. So as you can see, currently WSL version is not installed even. So let's install it. WSL -- install. Let's install it. Wait for Windows to install Windows Subsystem for Linux. As you can see, Podman Desktop requires a quite updated version of Windows, WSL, and also hardware features, the virtual machine platform to be enabled on the system. So be sure to use an updated version of Windows and make sure that your computer supports virtual machine platform or hardware virtualization. This needs to be enabled from BIOS. So as far as I know, hardware virtualization is available for many Intel processors after generation 4. So almost any Intel processor on generation 4, fourth generation onwards, has this capability and can run virtualized workloads and supports hardware virtualization. And this is very important for software like Podman Desktop and Docker Desktop to work on your system. The download is complete and now it is installing WSL. 2.6.2 is the version that is being installed. And nice, as you can see, the installation was successful, but apparently we will need to reboot the system. So let's check requirements again. And to make sure everything works smoothly, I'm gonna stop the video for now and restart the system, and then we will proceed with the installation and setup of Podman Desktop. All right, I restarted my system and now I can proceed and resume setting up the Podman Desktop software. So I press setup on the dashboard of Podman Desktop and press next. Podman is not installed on this system. Would you like to install Podman? Yes. We want to install it for Windows Linux Subsystem or WSL v2 because this is the software that we installed. So I select it. It is by default selected. I press install. Okay, Podman installation was successful. and I press next. We couldn't find any Podman machine. So once we are in this step, we have enabled WSL2, we have installed Podman. Now we need to create a Podman machine. So next. So I will leave the values to the default ones already filled in by Podman installer, and I press create. You need to wait for Podman Setup Wizard to download the Podman virtual machine image and then set up the virtual machine for you. Okay, looks like Podman virtual machine was installed. Because we have already installed Podman desktop and set it up, looks like this shouldn't be here. Auto start, next. Okay, yes, everything is fine. In order to try and see if everything is done correctly, let's create our first container. As you can see, a new container was created. Now let's run it. And you can see that the output of this container after it was run is hello Podman world, meaning that our first container executed properly. I can also show you another example. Let's actually run a web container so that you will enjoy a more intimate glimpse of how a web container works running on Podman desktop. So I'm gonna start the terminal. And now that we have installed Podman desktop, a new command called podman is available in the terminal. So podman ps will list all the available containers that are currently running. Because we don't have any containers running, we naturally see none here. Now I'm going to create a new container, podman run rm to remove it after we exit it, and let's publish the containers port on 8080. The containers port R80 will forward it to 8080 on our development machine. And then the name of the container image, let's specify it. Docker.io library nginx latest. Let's also give it a name like hello web. We need to wait for Podman to fetch the image for this container and then run it for us. Okay, all the components for this image were downloaded and our container started using this image. You can see the logs for the running container, and now we can head over to our browser and see the output of our container localhost port 8080, because this is the port that we exposed. There we go. Welcome to Nginx. And you can see the running container and its green status. That means running in Podman desktop under containers as well. You can see that Podman desktop is a full-featured application for managing containers with many different sections, including containers, pods, images, volumes, networks, Kubernetes, and extensions to add more features. But we will not need much advanced stuff for this course. We will need just to run basic container stuff for our project. In this video, I showed you how to install Podman Desktop on Windows. Make sure you use an updated version of Windows. Windows 11 is preferred. And we also set up Podman Desktop by first enabling the hardware virtualization platform and also installing the latest version of WSL. Let's get started. First, I'm gonna create a Docker Compose file. So the first and foremost, is to create a folder for our project. So I'm gonna hit open folder and then go to src. Here I will create a new folder. Let's create it under playground. I have a folder named as such, and I'm gonna name it AI site. And let's make it shorter, AI site, and create it and select to open it in VS Code. Once it is open, I'm gonna head over to my AI chat. As you can see, VS Code has an AI chat where you can message your AI model and talk with it, get recommendations, get code samples, code snippets, and you can also use it in agent mode, which is very nice. The agent mode of the AI that we are using will create any file that you want, will edit any file that you want. It's very intelligent and it has access to the files of our project, so it can read them, it can fix problems, it can edit it, and it can add content to them. It can also create new files. So first, I'm gonna ask it to create a Docker Compose file, compose.yaml. It's going to be named compose.yaml in order to have a shorter name. And also, I'm gonna specify the services that we want. Add a PHP Apache image, as well as a MariaDB service. Let's change the image to service here. And just like that, these two will work for us because these are the main components of our website that we will need. So also expose the ports that we want, because we want to see the web interface from our container. So expose port 8080 from the web server. Let's run it. As this is running, let's talk a little bit about the models that we have. So the model that I'm using is Copilot. Copilot is from GitHub. In order to access to it, you need to have a GitHub account. And the first time you set up your Copilot account, you press this chat and it will redirect you to the GitHub page where you will allow Copilot to be installed in VS Code, and then it will be available just like this, and you can chat with it. You can get tasks done by the model, like creating a file as we did. So you can see this is very nice. Apache document root environment. It was created. This compose file. This is what we want for our project to get up and running. So because I'm on Linux, I'm also going to add Z here. That's it. I add Z here. Don't worry about that. Just add it for now. Once we have this, I'm gonna ask the AI to create a basic structure, the basic folder structure and files for my website, because I want to have an e-commerce website. And first, it's going to create the basic files that are needed in this website. So create a basic file structure for a basic e-commerce website. The project is PHP based, so we will need an index.php file and create other files if necessary. What are the other files? Other files are like other PHP files that are included, CSS files, JavaScript files, and things like that. In fact, I recommend that you tell the project, tell the AI to create them, create the folders. So create a CSS and a JavaScript JS folder as well. Also, make sure that the content is served to the user from index.php. Like by including other PHP files if necessary. This will result in a simpler setup because we don't want to use several different PHP files as front end for the user. We want to have an index.php file that serves the user with different content that are decided based on what the user wants. So let's run this. There we go. You can see that it created a CSS folder, an includes folder for PHP, a JS folder for JS, an index.php file, which is our main PHP frontend facing the user. That is very nice. As you can see, it has also created header, footer, products, home, cart, in order to show our cart for the user. Also about.php, contact.php, and things like that. That's amazing. I think this is very nice. Now I'm going to run the project and see how it looks as it is. So docker compose up. The images of the project are getting pulled from the server, and then our project will go up and we can use it. We can see it. You might find Docker Compose a little bit complicated, but don't worry. It's very easy. You don't have to understand everything about it. Just use the file that I'm using. And note that this is much simpler than installing a web server and a database server on your machine, because we don't need them. We can simply run our Docker Compose and every service that we need are available to us. Isn't it nice? Isn't it amazing? Okay, as you can see, the project is coming up. The database is getting initialized. The other one, the web server, is also launching. So now we should be able to see the front page of our website in our browser. So let's open our browser. So here's my browser. I'm gonna open localhost 8080. There we go. You can see that this is a basic UI for my e-commerce website created by AI. Let's see home, products, cart, about, contact. That's very nice. Whenever we click one of these links, actually the content from that file, the related file, is included in our index.php file, and we can access it, we can see it. That's very nice. So let's check out the source code. You can see we have header, which contains the menu that we have. We have the products page, which contains the products. We have index.php, and index.php actually decides which content to display. So you can see actually the links are in the header, and when we ask for a file, for example, when we ask for a page like home, that page is sent as a parameter, as a get parameter to index.php. So index.php receives that, and then includes it. As you can see, if the page that we request is inside this array, which is one of the allowed pages, then the file name associated with that name, the file is included like this. Now let's check out the other files. Pages, these pages are included inside the includes folder, and as you can see, we have the about page, we have the cart page, we have contact page, home page, products. For the products, you can see we have a div, HTML div with the products grid class. It is displaying all the products by including the name, by displaying the name and description and the price, as well as a button to add that product to the cart. All right, so far so good. We have a basic project, but as you can see, the content for this website are static. We don't have a way in order to go to the admin page and add stuff to our website. We cannot establish a connection to our database. So how do we do that? How do we add the content to the database? How do we make sure that we can actually add something to the cart? Oh, this was added to the cart, but the cart is not getting displayed. So this is one problem that we have. Let's fix it. Let's make the add to cart button work, and also show a cart icon with the number of added items on it. So this will modify the files, and it will enable the click button to add actually a product to the cart, and it will work for us. You can see it is first creating a JS file. It is updating the JS file in order to add the functionality of adding a product to the cart. It is also updating the style file, the header, products, as well as the cart.php file. So we had a cart page actually, but it didn't have much content. Now it has content. It will display the product, the price, the quantity, the subtotal, and the action. So that we will be able to see what items have been added. Let's refresh the page. Add to cart, nice. This was added to the cart, and you can see that the number of the items is displayed. Another one was added, and you can see that's very nice. Proceed to checkout. As you can see, the number of items is displayed here, and the total is correctly calculated and displayed. And now we can proceed to checkout. It doesn't do anything because we didn't ask AI to make this functional. Let's see if these buttons are working. There we go. They are working as well. This is very nice. So far, so good. We added the functionality for the cart. Let's see how it is working. You can see item.quantity, the number of the items. And let's see what other important parts we have. Okay, let's leave this for now. Update cart. It is actually saving in a variable called sum. Sum, item, and quantity. So where does the item come from? Cart, get cart, get cart. Oh, it is saving in local storage. It is actually saving the number of items in local storage. That is very nice. It's not even PHP, it is JavaScript. That's amazing. So then cart is getting used. Cart for each, subtotal, item.price, item quantity. It is using this mechanism to calculate the sum price that we need to pay. And the other parts are working accordingly. Now let's move to make this proceed to checkout button functional. This button. Make the proceed to checkout button functional. You can display a basic your order received message. And even save. No, let's not deal with database for now because it will make things a little bit more complicated. Okay, the checkout page, and make the proceed to checkout button. As you can see, the AI is creating a checkout file, and then it will take us to this page after we press the checkout button. Okay, now that we have made those changes and made our checkout button functional, let's check it and let's see if it works. So I refresh this page. Let's try proceed to checkout. There we go. It shows us a checkout page, and here we can enter our order information. That's very nice. So let's enter our information. I enter basic information, address, enter city, and my payment information. And complete purchase. There we go. It shows us a confirmation message. That's very nice. It shows a page for confirmation with the information that we filled in, and they are displayed to us. Let's look at these two pages that were created. The checkout page. You can see AI built us this page, and the confirmation page. And this is supposed to show us the details of our order. You can see that the markup has been created accordingly. What is the next step? So far, we have a basic e-commerce store where we can select products, we can order them, and we can get a confirmation. So in order to have a full-fledged e-commerce website, you will also need and require a backend, I mean an admin page where you can enter information, where you can add products and edit products. So we will ask next our AI model to implement that for us as well. So first, because this will require a database, I'm going to ask the AI to create my database schema. So create all the database schema that I need, including all the tables and initial values, if any. So this will make me a database schema that is the description of the database, including its tables and initial values. And then I will use that to initially populate the database. And also, let's ask it connect the site to the database in the files that need it, or make a helper function to give the database connection. Let's see how it goes. So a database.php file was created, and also a database class, apparently, product helper, customer helper, order helper. Now I'll update the index.php file to initialize the database. Okay, the database is connected to in index.php. Let me use grep search to find the exact string to replace. So this is adding the usage of the database to the files. Okay. The files are being updated to connect to the database. Sample data. These are the sample data that were added. This is also nice. That's very good. Now, in order to connect to the database, I need to pause this service. I need to stop Docker Compose with Control C and then start it again. Before starting it, let's check out Compose file, see what the changes are. These environment variables were added in order for our web server to connect to the database. Our web service will be able to connect to the database with this information. So next, I'm gonna start the Docker Compose again. Let's see if the files are getting initialized. Actually, they are not, because the container needs to be created from scratch. So I'm gonna remove with Docker Compose down the volumes associated with containers. So first I run this command and you can see that the DB data is removed. And now if I start it again, the containers and their volumes will be initialized. I don't see the schema files. Okay. Where are the initial files? Where are the initial database schema? I don't find it. So let me see where it was created. It's in the database file, I think. Database init. Okay. Actually, it is using a class in order to initialize the database rather than defining schema files and then initializing it when the container is getting created first. It is using a helper function, initialize database, in order to connect to the database and initialize it. This is nice. Actually, I like it. We have helper functions in order helper in order to help the order information to get saved and fetched. You can see get order by ID, get order by number, get order by customer ID. These are really nice. So let's see what we have so far. Let's go to the home page. Okay, there's a problem. No such file or directory. Helpers. On line 7. Helpers database. Okay, this file is there, but helpers database cannot be included. So on line 7 of database init, we cannot include this. Helpers, yes, I can understand why is it like that. Let's ask AI to fix that. In fact, I have a better idea. I have a simpler idea. We are currently inside database init, okay? Which means this file. And now we want to include the database file, which is this. All I need to do is say where I am, and then in the current directory, use this file. Database. And it will be fixed. That error went away. Config database. In the database file, I need to import database. So let's go to the config file. The database file. Config database. For config, I need to go to the current directory, which means I'm currently inside this file. And in order to go to config, I need to go back one step in order to be inside includes, and then go to config. So I go back one level. I go to the parent of helpers, which is includes, and then I go to config. So like this. Yes, it's getting found. So I think I'm right. Again, in the database file, line 6. No. In the current directory, use it this way. Okay, unfortunately, my container doesn't have MySQLi, so I need to add it to my container. Let's change our container. Because we need to connect to the database, we need this extension, and currently this is not available to use inside database line 14. Database line 14. You can see MySQLi is not available. So how do I add it to my container? That's not very complicated. I need to use a special image or make some changes. to my container. I'm gonna ask AI to create a special container for me. Use a custom container file for the web service and install the MySQLi extension to it. So you can see a container file was created. And it is installing the extensions that we need, like MySQLi. And now I need to stop this service and build the containers again. So this time with Docker Compose, I pass build, and it will start the containers. And first, of course, it will build the images, and then it will start it. Okay, as you can see, the services are now up and running, and the container images were rebuilt. Now let's check out our project, see if the page is being loaded. We still have some include problems in product helper line 6. Line 6. Of course, we could ask AI to look for these problems in the files and fix them. So helpers database, product helper. It needs to include helpers database, which means helpers database, this file. So it is in the current directory, so there, like this. We need to do similarly inside customer helper and include database, customer helper. Here, and include database. Database init. Order. Let's check this as well. This needs to be fixed also. There. And this was fixed a few seconds ago. Let's refresh. All right, the errors are gone, and now I guess that the products are getting loaded from our database. So let's see the products. These are my products, and let's see the products page. The products page, and see if our information is getting loaded from the database. Get products from DB. Yes. This is received from the product helper file, and it is actually connecting to the database and making a query from the database, reading data from it, and then returning them as an associative array. Next, I'm gonna add the images because these products don't have images. Let's add that as well. So
create images directory or publish images, and let's first ask it whether it can you create an images directory and put images for the products that we have. And then show images along for each product. Show an image for each product.
everything was nice so far except the image creation, which I don't like. I wish that the AI model would fetch appropriate images from the internet, real images, and display them. But that's fine. It asks me to rebuild my Docker Compose services and images. But before that, I'm gonna ask it to update database schema to add the images. Actually, maybe it is already doing that. So I'm gonna check it. I'm gonna check the database init. No, it is not actually. Update DB schema and add an image path. Then initialize it with images. Create table customers, products. You can see image doesn't exist here, so I need to add it. Then initialize it with appropriate create images. Then initialize the products from the images path and display images. All right. So the AI changes were made. You can see that the DB migration runs when initialize database runs. So database will be migrated. And for that to happen, we need to run Docker Compose up build. Let's stop it and run it again. Initialize database. Okay, this is the migration step that adds the images. You can see check image column DB query, show columns from products like image, and then it alters the table and adds an image column. It also adds images. We can see it adds these images, but they are placeholders, and later when we add an admin panel, we will be able to edit them and choose appropriate images. You can see an image column has been added. This is very nice. Let's refresh our page. Nice. Actually, the images are there, but it is displaying them like this. It is displaying like text, but these we know that are images. We can save the images like this. So far so good. Our website is up and running, but I need to have a profile. I need to be able to log in. Add a profile icon through the site header for the user to log in or sign up. Also, add an admin panel for the admin user where and make them capable of editing the products and allow them to edit products one by one, including updating the image of each product and uploading a new image. You can see that the AI model tells us what it wants to do before it actually does something. I'll update the DB schema, add auth helpers, headers, changes, and admin pages, including upload handling. Applying multiple file edits now. So you can see that the admin user is someone from the customers table, but he has an isAdmin flag enabled. So it's understandable. Customer helper, you can see that we have a new file auth. We have also a new column called password in our customers table. Okay, it made some changes and now it is asking me to decide whether I wanted to implement the login page plus menu toggle first or go straight to the admin product edit image upload flow. What should we choose? Let's do a refresh first. Oh, we have a problem. Index line 2. Okay. We have an extra opening tag for PHP. All right. We have this for the user. Line 43. Line 43. I understand. Login.php. If you don't have a login page, we need to create it. So go straight to the admin product edit plus image upload. Load. Okay, it is asking me another question. Which of these should I do next? Add the profile menu toggle, implement login logout pages, or both? Let's select both. Okay, this step involved a lot of changes. We have a whole lot of new changes. You can see login.php is updated. Okay, we have another question. Add profile.php to show user info and orders. Improve admin UI. Image previews, delete images, validation messages. Migrate checkout to create server-side orders in DB. Okay, these are optional. Nice. We can actually log in. If I select the user, let me log in with the admin user. So auth. Let's find the sample database in it, probably. Admin pass. adminexample.com and admin pass. Let's log in with this user. admin@signexample.com and admin pass. Login. Okay, we logged in, but we have a problem here. Unknown column password in select. Let's give this error to the AI. We have an error in the login page. Unknown column password. So this column has not been added to the customers table yet, apparently. So I'm gonna ask it to fix it. If I look at customer helper, as you can see, the password field is not yet added. So I ask it to add this change. Okay, looks like that the model created appropriate migration steps in order to add the password column and in is admin column to the database if they are missing. So next I need to do this Docker Compose up build or Docker Compose restart web just to restart this service. So let's do it. Docker Compose restart web. Okay, it was restarted. Cannot modify header information. Looks like the error was gone. Let's log in example.com and admin pass login. Okay, login, line 15. An error. Let's see if it can fix the error for us. Hopefully it can. Okay, these are the changes that were made or are getting made. Can refactor log and log out. For now, let's check it. Product helper. So admin file needs to import product helper. Admin needs to go back one step and open product helper. Yes, it finds product helper. There we go. This is the list of images in our admin panel, and see if we can update them. Like this one. Okay, in admin edit, we have the inclusion error again. Admin edit. Go back one step. And open this. There we go. It can actually load the information for this product. 4K monitor updated. Let's update the title and the price. Like make it $100 cheaper, $299.99. And let's update the stock to only 5, and also select a new image for it. Survey. I'm gonna add a 4K monitor. Let's find the 4K monitor image. "4K monitor." And save it. Okay, we had some problem. Unable to move this image. Pages. Admin edit. What is the reason for not being able to move it there? Pages, backpack, public. I think this is because of Selinux, so I need to make some changes. Set enforce 0, and also give the permissions. So sudo chmod 777 to the public directory. Let's try again. There we go. The product updated. Let's go back to the list of directories. Unfortunately, this is not yet updated. So let's ask it to fix product image is uploaded, but the product is still using the old image. Okay, I found the bug. Nice work, good boy. The path constructor is incorrect, line 59. Fixed. The path construction on line 15 was missing a slash between the directory and file name. Now it will correctly save the uploads to images, and the DB will be updated with the correct path. Let's go to the admin panel and edit the product again. You can see all the information has been updated except the image. So let's try the image. Save. There we go. It was updated. Go back to the list and nice. Let's go to the products page and great. It is using the new image. I like this. Next, we might also want a delete column so that we will be able to delete the products that we don't want. And also an add link so that the user will be able to add new products. So we need a delete link to delete products from the list, and also from the list without confirmation for simplicity, and also a page, a link to add new products. These are the steps that it's taking to accomplish this goal that I mentioned. I'll add, delete, and add product functionality. First, let me check the current admin file to see its structure. Now I'll add delete product to product helper, create an admin delete, and delete links to the admin list, and add an add product link. I'll make these changes in parallel. Nice work. Created admin delete, created admin add. Okay, these are the changes that were made. Delete product added, add product, admin list updates, and index routing updated the whitelist and switch statements to route admin delete and admin add pages. So let's check out index to see those changes. Nice. You can see the required pages are getting included here. I refresh. There we go. We have a new delete link. Let's now delete this product. There we go. It was deleted. I do a refresh and it's gone. Let's do add product. I add a new product like my 4K monitor. or add something different actually. Yes, let's add an Android TV box. So I'm gonna save this. TV box. Android TV box. 8 GB. Assuming it is 8 GB in storage. And let's make it $500. And the stock, make it 10. And the category is electronics. Select the image. Looks like our, oh, it is supported. Create product. Okay, WebP is not supported in our website. No problem. Actually, I can fix this very easily. Go to the images directory, public images, and convert this Android box, TV box, to tvbox.jpg. And it will be Android TV box, 8 GB, a price of 500, stock of 10, electronics, and select the image, TV box, JPEG, and create the product. There we go. It was created. It is getting displayed in the list, and we can edit it or delete it from the list. So now all the operations like create, read, update, and delete functionality or CRUD is supported for our products catalog. And it's very in this course, we were able to create a basic e-commerce store using AI and add all the basic functionality that we needed, like the header, footer, display of products, connecting to the database, user authentication, cart management, and things like that. That's very nice. Before I wrap up this video, I want to look at the files with you so that we have an inspection of how large this project is, given that this is a basic project, see how big it is, and get a sense of what AI is capable of in creating a project like this. Let's take another look to our folder structure. We have CSS for styles. We have includes for all the files that we needed for different functionalities like config, helpers for different functionalities, and pages responsible for creating views for different pages for us. The footer, header, responsible for the header and footer of our website, and the products responsible for displaying the products. In fact, this is not needed anymore. We can remove it because we are now getting our products from the database. So we can simply remove it. Remove the products.php file if it is not needed. And we know it is not needed because we see zero references here, zero references. Okay, it's taking so long. I don't have to have the AI do it. I can simply do it myself. products deleted. Okay, this is talking about the other file. It should not be removed. It is talking about this products page, which is currently in use. So I didn't mean this file. Just see the number of files that AI has created for us. If we wanted to manually code this project, even though it is a very basic project, it will take us probably more than 10 hours or probably days to code, because it required us debugging and adding functionalities, checking references and things like that. But AI was very capable and very quick in implementing different functionalities and adding different pages for us. And it also used the most optimal way of achieving a goal wherever possible. And that's another nice thing about this AI model. So once again, let's take a look at different files. Auth. This file is responsible for authentication with different helper functions like auth login and auth logout. Auth is logged in, auth is admin, and customer helper with different functions like get customer, create or update customer. This is also nice. Database, kind of the heart of our application with different methods. You can see it's a class for doing different database operations, like connecting to the database, querying and preparing statements, and escaping. Database init to add initial information to our database, an order helper in order to manage orders, like creating orders, getting orders, update order status, which allows us to update order status from pending to completed and things like that. And you can add other helper functions as well, for example, like delete order, product helper used for different operations on the product, like getting the products from the database, get product by ID, to fetch products, update product stock, get products by category, which are straightforward. It is using MySQLi connection to run these queries, and it is almost always using prepare statements. Whenever it needs to pass information to the database, it uses prepared statements for maximum security, and it's very nice. And these are the pages, different pages for about, admin add, admin delete, for deleting products, admin edit for editing the products, admin for listing the products, cart for displaying the product, the products that have been added to the cart, checkout to manage the checkout status, like proceeding and completing the order, confirmation, contact. And the nice thing about this project is that it is using the index.php file to display all the content. And these are the files that are included when they are required. Instead of going to different files, we are using index.php. We are always on index.php file. But based on the scenario and based on the situation, we include different files and different content. And this is the standard way of doing stuff in PHP. And most of the frameworks basically do something like this. This is actually kind of an MVC project. Of course, in a very basic level, in a basic sense of the word. It has model and it has views. These are our views. And it has controller, which is kind of integrated into the views. So it is not a completely MVC stuff, and it's not a complete MVC project, but it's nice and it's organized in a way that it can be inspected and it can be processed by us humans. And for a basic project like this, it is acceptable and it uses the minimum complexity. So in this video, we created a basic e-commerce website together using AI, using, of course, Copilot, AI model, and I'm not sure about the specific models that were used by the AI chat, by the AI agent, but we used the AI agent inside VS Code to accomplish most of the stuff that we did. So we added different functionalities like database integration, like database initialization, and CRUD operations for our database, as well as order management, product management, and user authentication, which are the building blocks of any complete website. Hope you enjoyed this course and happy coding!